Hi there, today we're going to look at a 10-mark explain question, and we're going to be looking at if crime rates are increasing within Britain today. I'd just like to draw your attention to the question because this could also be a 20-mark question. So throughout this short video, yes, I will be directing you towards how to answer it if it was a 10-mark question, but I will also be discussing certain topics and views and statistics in relation to the question, which you can also use in your 20-mark question. Okay, moving on. So as I've done on my previous videos, you should be looking at using 3 to 4 paragraphs to answer the question, and as it is an explain question, you need to make sure you explain your reasons by using words such as because, furthermore, and this suggests, or any others that you have used previously. Point, evidence, effect to structure your sentences into paragraphs, or if you are more familiar with giving the reason, explain further, or give an example, then you can use that to structure your paragraph either way you wish to. And in your exam, you should be looking to spend between 10 and 15 minutes on the question. Okay, so before we start answering this question, we need to understand what do the statistics say, and the data I'm going to provide to you has been taken from the Office for National Statistics, and it is data taken from 2012. So straight away we're in 2015, so this data is 3 years old. So straight away we can only use the statistics we've been given, and these are the latest ones. So I'm going to discuss and talk you through what the statistics suggest. So just before we start, explain if crime rates are increasing within Britain. Well, statistics actually suggest that crime rates are on the decrease, and there are less crimes reported and also less crimes recorded. And linking to it, recorded crimes have fallen by 8.4% between the years ending September 2011 and September 2012. And according to the latest crime statistics, there's actually a fall. Okay, there's actually a fall further from 2012, where there was 8.9 million crimes reported, and that is actually a decrease from 2011. So between 2012 from 2011 to 2012, there's actually been a decrease from 9.6 to 8.9 million crimes reported. Bear in mind that is reported, and we're not talking here about recorded, we're on about reported crimes. So for example, somebody trespassing on your property, throwing an egg at the window, or whatever type of crime you can think of, but crime that is reported to the police. So this isn't crime that's been recorded, it's just been reported. And in relation to the last 10 years from 2012, it's actually lower by 26%. So again, the statistics are suggesting that crime rates have decreased. Now, looking at recorded crime, statistics showed a 41% drop in crime between 2002 and 2012 for police recorded crime. So that means that crime that has actually been recorded by the police. So statistics are actually down 41%. There's been a drop in crime between 2002 and 2012 for police recorded crime. Now, in relation to the statistics, as a sociologist, you should be now thinking, yeah, okay, crime may have decreased according to national statistics, but as a sociologist, we know there are other areas we need to look at, particularly reported and recorded crime, because reported crime is a very interesting topic, and it is also known as the dark figure of crime, and that is crime that does not appear on national statistics. and it is a lot larger than the crime that is present on statistics. So, and also looking at the statistics, it's also important to understand that police may also influence the statistics massively, because police only know about crime and their main knowledge of crimes comes from the public. Okay, so police only know about crimes if they are reported, and it is then their responsibility or their interest whether they record it. And bearing that in mind, the police may have to hit certain targets within certain areas. So there's a rhetorical question there where you may say, well, do police always record the crime? Will they sometimes not record their crime, making sure that they hit their national targets set by obviously the government and within the police their bosses? So obviously figures suggest it's decreased, but we do need to think about in this particular instance whether there are contested debates around that. So we're now going to look at and explain reasons why crime rates may have increased or decreased within Britain. Firstly, we've looked at official statistics and we've suggested reasons why statistics may suggest there's been a decrease, but we need to bear in mind that the statistics are suggesting crime rates are on the decrease, therefore official statistics are the only thing we can use at the minute. Now, official statistics and crime. Police are expected to carry out the role of collecting official statistics on crime. The government need these to decide where to target police resources in the future. The government want to show the public they are doing a good job in reducing crime. The media report on this affecting future voting. So there's a lot of pressure on the government and also the police to ensure that statistics suggest basically appealing figures to the public. Because if you are in government, and while you're in government if crime figures decrease, then that's obviously going to influence whether the public vote for you in future elections. Again, where do official statistics on crime come from? The main source of official statistics is from crimes that are reported to the police, as I said earlier. They also need to be recorded by the police to appear in official statistics, as said previously again. Sociologists argue that crime statistics are socially constructed. Basically, I'm going to speak about that a little bit later within this video. So that brings me on to reasons why some crimes are not reported. Some crimes may not be seen as serious by the victim. They may feel that the police will not be able to do anything. Victims may be scared of telling the police in case of repercussions. The criminal may be known or related to them. It may also be a family member, so it becomes very difficult for a victim in that situation. Sexual crimes may be too stressful or embarrassing to report, such as child abuse may not be reported for years. Now we've seen that in the news recently, in particular crimes that have occurred in Rotherham and also crimes that Jimmy Savile has committed. These crimes have come out a lot later than they actually happened, and therefore that's going to affect validity or the accuracy of official statistics, because crimes are continuously ongoing or have not been reported as of yet. So that brings us on to my second point, or my second paragraph I would talk about, and that is moral panics. Basically, statistics are suggesting that crime rates have decreased. However, according to the media and particular headlines within this one is obviously linked to the Europe, UK teens worst behaved in Europe. Now obviously when the London riots occurred, there was a lot of media attention in relation to teenage behaviour and people blaming deprivation, or even sometimes blaming video games for the behaviours of the adolescents in London. So moral panics could be an area you could discuss in your second paragraph, that moral panics creates the public to believe that crime rates are on the increase, and therefore the media influence your behaviours, which also links into social control. The third point, and I'll just give you a second to read the little quote on there that allows you to understand what we mean by socially constructed. Okay, so socially constructed is really important in relation to this question, because it is basically what the individual deems to be a criminal activity. And as I've said previously, with some crimes, people may not know they are crimes, particularly in abuse cases, underage drinking. The teenagers who are part of that are not going to report their own friends purely because they are part of it. And also, people who are speeding or double parked or doing antisocial behaviour may not always get reported purely through the conceptions of the people around them. They may not deem that the police will be bothered, they may feel that the police will not do anything, or purely they turn a blind eye to it. So therefore that's massively going to affect the statistics of crime within Britain. So again, you can use a rhetorical question within your answer there. And finally, very quickly, deviancy amplification. This links into moral panics and the view of society towards criminal and deviant behaviour. But bear in mind here, you're not talking about deviant behaviour, you're talking about criminal behaviour. But also, deviancy amplification links into the media and the fact that the media exaggerates certain crimes. So if you look at the picture here, you can see youths covering their faces and pulling a hood over their head. People may associate such gangs and groups and subcultures and feel that society isn't as safe purely because of these people and how they act, how they dress, when in fact it may not be the case. And finally, just bringing this slide to a close, in order to gain maximum marks on this question, it's very important that you include keywords within your answers. Now, if you included all these 10 keywords and did it concisely, then you'll be looking at gaining maximum marks. But just to go through the keywords very quickly, reported crime. So we are talking there about crimes that the public tell the police about. So reported crimes, crimes that are actually reported. A self-report is a questionnaire to find out which crimes people are committing. So obviously, the validity of that can be massively questioned, because are people going to actually tell the questionnaire, or the people asking the question, which is actually the Home Office, whether they commit a crime. Recorded crime speaks for itself, so it's crime that has been reported and then recorded and appears on official statistics. Socially constructed, I've discussed previously. The Home Office is a department which is linked to government that is in charge of immigration, security and law and order. So basically the Home Office look after, are in charge of law and order and keeping Britain safe, and that is where official statistics are published and then used. And finally, moral panic, I've discussed that earlier. And very quickly, this is how I would structure my assignment. Now I've just noticed on here as well, and I'm not going to change it. This is a previous video, and it's obviously got describe what types of crime high stakes people are more likely to be involved in. That is not obviously the question what we are looking at here. So sorry about that. Thank you.